is probably going to be something I'm going to stop and start a whole lot, considering um, what it's discussing. So, I was pregnant previously. I got pregnant through an IVF, and after 2 years of trying with my husband, we went through the entire IVF process, and I got pregnant in September 30th was the day that they transferred my son, my embryo. And everything was going okay. I had some, preterm bleeding and little stuff, but all the while, my son was doing very well and everything was looking good. My life got extremely out of control and stressful, no thanks to anybody in my family. And January 13th, actually January 12th at 8 p.m., I started going into preterm labor, and it was pretty evident that my son was not going to survive. He was 17 weeks and 5 days. We went to the hospital, and I was having regular contractions that were very painful. And just as a quick side note, no one in my family reached out when my son died. And fuck them, because that's horrible. I don't give a shit if you don't like me, but you should have at least tried to reach out for my son. And so you're a shitty person to all of my siblings and my parents. I don't have a very satisfying home life. And I'm glad that I no longer have to associate myself with so the quality of people that is just so low. And I'm very grateful that, I don't have to care about them anymore, and I don't. It doesn't hurt me, I just wish they would have had a little bit of compassion for my son, and they didn't. So I had been diagnosed with a placental abruption, which basically the placenta pulled away from my uterine wall due to a sudden increase in my blood pressure. So literally, stress killed my baby. And that is something that I had to completely disassociate myself from any of my family that I had, because their presence in my life was no longer giving me any kind of solace. It was giving me nothing but extreme anxiety and grief. So he was born January 13th, 1 o'clock in the morning. He was 17 inches long, and he weighed 5.3 ounces. And after he passed, we had quite the ordeal with trying to get him cremated, but ultimately I got his actual footprints tattooed on me and my husband with his name, because that was the day that he earned his wings. So then, we had a lot of stuff going on. I continue to have a lot of stuff going on. And we were told that we were never going to conceive on our own, unassisted. That was something that was told to us forever ago. So in February, my period started up like I was never pregnant and nothing ever happened. And I was devastated, because not only was I still healing, postpartum and also mourning my son, but I got my period like nothing happened. So I had asked, around about being on birth control, and everybody kind of said the same thing. Don't worry about it, because you guys tried for 2 years. You had an ICSI with the IVF, and you did 2 IUIs that failed. So you guys probably won't conceive on your own. So that was in February. And March 20th rolls around, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm late, but we can't conceive on our own, but I always have those Pregmate brand pregnancy tests kind of around my house. I just have them because they were on Amazon and I got a whole grip for like $7. So you fast forward, I'm thinking to myself, damn, this period is like really late, sorry, a little too much information there. But I'm thinking to myself, there's no way. We had unprotected sex like twice. If I'm really being honest, it's not like after you lose a baby, you're just like raring to go, you know what I mean? And like in the mood to make love to your significant other. And so I took the test, just like my period's gonna start like as soon as I take this test. And my period did not start, and that test turned positive. And I had an extreme panic attack because I had all these complications after the birth of my son. I had to have a D&C, and I was admitted in the hospital for like 6 days, and I got very sick, and my uterus was all fucked up afterwards, and so I really should not have been able to get pregnant, number one, and number two, I should not have been having unprotected sex. And I did, and so the first thought that came to my head was, I am extremely irresponsible. And I cried forever, and I waited a little bit, actually, to tell my husband, because I didn't know what I was going to do. But ultimately, we're going to have a baby. And this time, it was unassisted. I didn't have to do an IVF. I didn't have to do another embryo transfer. I just got pregnant on my own. And that is incredible. If you've ever learned anything from me, it's, I have been put through some extreme shit in my life. And by extreme, I mean like the worst shit you could ever go through. I have been through it. And back again. I've been accused of being a shitty mother. I've been accused of being, a bitch. I've been accused of so much other things. But with that said, I just had an appointment today, which is why I'm filming this. Because I have been blessed with the opportunity to have another baby. And that means so much to me. Honestly, the timing was a little off. I wish I would have had more time, I guess, to mourn and to heal, but God's funny like that. So we couldn't be happier. I am so blessed. Too blessed to be stressed. So I guess that's kind of all I had to say about it. I appreciate you sitting through my 8-minute update video. If you did, made it this far, congrats. But miracles do happen. Always remember that. I'm proof. Peace out.